Don't you hit that button.
It's your turn to
Oh, is it for me?
consider yourself fired.
Why are you winking at me?
Consider yourself fired.
Hello and welcome to the JT and Drew Show. I'm JT.
And I'm Drew.
And we're two nobodies talking about nothing.
Consider yourself fired.
Hey, bud. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back in the studio.
Thank you for having me. I like what you've done with the place.
I've fancied it up a little bit.
Yeah, I noticed you took some things down, put some new things up.
Yeah, I sure did.
Looks good.
Yeah, well, you know, it's better than my last studio,
Yeah.
but we'll work with what we got.
Hey, that's all we can ask for.
That's what she said.
All right. A little delayed there, but, I'm still learning my way around here.
So you're excited you got yourself a soundboard?
Yes. Excited would be an understatement.
Yeah, I figured you wanted one for so long.
Too long.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, go for it.
Serious question.
Okay.
What would you do if you were, say you're back in the Metroplex?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to give that scenario. You're in a big city, and you find yourself in a protest. We're not going to do like pro-Palestinian. We're not going to do BLM. We're not going to do anything like that. So nothing specific.
Yeah, just a random protest.
Just a random protest that turns, quote-unquote, peaceful.
Okay. Am I walking around? Am I in my vehicle?
Let's say you and your wife are walking around, no kiddo, but you're walking around and you're kind of doing like window shopping.
Okay.
And so like you're in the downtown part of, I don't know if you've been there, but Old Dallas. And
Sure.
they have like the big Macy's building where a lot of people would window shop. So what would you do if you ever got caught up in a protest that turned violent?
Okay. Well, first thing, I'm going to go to my communication device. So my mobile phone.
Okay.
And I would probably try to get a hold of the cops. See if they're aware that, hey, this violence is going on. Whether it's, stores being broke into, or if the violence is happening to me, then I would, try to get to a safe location, then get a hold of the authorities. If it's like on a Kyle Rittenhouse level,
Okay.
somebody's chasing me with a weapon, whether that weapon is a firearm or a big stick or a skateboard or whatever, I'm definitely going to defend me and my family.
Okay. Yeah. Well, rightly so.
And then I would get a hold of the authorities. I would address the immediate threat first.
So situational awareness, kind of, you know, where's the threat? Is a threat happening? Is it to me? Is it to someone else? Kind of.
Yeah. So I would try to get out of the area for sure. But if I had no way of doing that, then I would do what I had to do, I guess.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a show. He answered it too quickly. So, good night.
Just kidding, folks.
You were setting me up.
Yeah, I sure was. I would call the fire department, and I would have them turn their big hose on top of the truck on and just blast everybody to create a path for me to escape. And on my escape, I would then get on the fire truck. I would get behind the hose, and then I would just start hosing people down because it looks like fun in the movies.
Yeah. Well, that's one way to do it. I would never do that. I don't think I could.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd do it in a heartbeat. If I ever got the opportunity.
I tell you what, if they had Oreos on that fire truck,
Oh, hang it up.
shoot.
Hey, I wouldn't even contemplate that one. There's no looking up going, should I take these in with me? No, I'm just grabbing the Oreos, getting on that fire hose, and hopefully the water hits them before my nipples.
Yikes. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that, ladies and gentlemen. I speak from experience. You don't want any part of it.
They're like needles
Those things could cut diamonds.
on a cold winter's night. Oh, okay.
All right, no more button pushing for me. I'm having too much fun.
Yeah, you are.
But what would you do in that kind of scenario?
I would look for my escape options, right?
Okay, yeah.
I would try not to go down any kind of alleyway
Yeah.
because you never know what's on the other side of that alley. I don't know how big the protest would be or the violent acts would be. So my first thing would do is to kind of blend in with the crowd,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
So if the violence isn't happening to me personally, if I'm not wearing anything that's kind of identifying me as like pro-gun or whatever the case may be, then I may be blending in to find my escape. If my escape is across the street to the other side, then I would not go against the water, kind of not go against the people. I would kind of like go with them for a little bit and try and make my way across the street.
Yeah.
And then backtrack if I need to backtrack. I guess the real question is am I carrying anything at the time? Because I know what I like to do if I'm in a big city or whatnot, because I don't have a concealed carry. All of my carries are pretty well bulky and they're there kind of a deal, unless
Yeah.
I'm wearing like a really big hoodie or a really big jacket. So my first thing would be, am I carrying anything to defend myself with? Most likely, in a big city area, I'm probably not. It's probably locked away in my vehicle.
Okay.
So if that were to happen, then what else do I have on me that I can defend myself with, whether it's lethal or non-lethal? I don't carry around bear spray, although that is something I am thinking about doing.
Yeah, you and me both.
Pepper spray, something like that, something non-lethal, but to get away from a situation. Or do I have a pocket knife? Do I have, sorry, I got caught up in my throat. Do I have a multi-tool that has a blade on it? Do I have something that I can feel comfortable holding and I know I'm not going to let go of it, or it's not going to hurt me, or I wouldn't want to kill anybody, obviously. I just want the threat to kind of go away if that were to be the case. But if there's not,
Right.
there's no threat, then I would go with the crowd and kind of do what you and I have talked and what we have heard other people talk about is like being the gray man. And
Yes.
if you've never heard of that, the gray man is kind of where you blend into the crowd and you don't really stick out, so you're not wearing like flashy colors, or if something were to happen, you don't have any like I hate BLM or I love Israel, or you don't have a Jewish star on you. But I mean, if you do, that's your thing and you're right to wear it.
Right, but you're not going to go to an anti-Trump rally with your MAGA hat on.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would
stick out like a turd in a punch bowl.
Yeah, but I would blend into the crowd and I would get out of the situation, and then I would do what you said: call the authorities. Hey, do you know this is happening? Was this scheduled? I would probably call the non-emergency line because it wouldn't be an emergency. So I'd call the non-emergency line saying, "Hey, did you know this was happening?" And then go from there, assess my situation. But the number one thing is to get out of Dodge. If I can get back to my vehicle, that's the number one thing I would do. If I can't, then I would have a plan B to get to a safe location, to get out of there, to then recover my vehicle later.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note, excuse me, a lot of times when you're in a crowded area like that, it's hard because you would think, right, hey, I'm in the Walmart parking lot and someone's stalking me. I'm going to yell. I'm going to try to get to a public area. In this case, you're in that public area.
Yeah.
And you're yelling and stuff. You're bringing that attention to yourself. Now, there may be others around that aren't a part of this violent group that might be able to jump in and help you. Don't call me skeptical, but call me skeptical. We've seen all this stuff online where even police are having trouble and they're struggling. They're wrestling with somebody and they're trying to get them to submit so they can handcuff them. And people are just circled around them. and filming
Yeah.
instead of jumping in and helping. So I wouldn't necessarily be glass half full on, oh, some of these good Samaritans may jump in and help me. I would be more skeptical of that. And like you said, trying to be that gray man, let me just blend in till I can get the heck out of here.
Right.
And if it was an isolated incident, okay, maybe get to where there's more people, yell, make a scene so people are looking. Because those could be witnesses to help you.
Yeah, they could. Or you could be skeptical and they could be there to hurt you.
True. Very true.
I'm slowly turning into a half glass empty kind of a guy. Like, I still try to stay positive and things like that. But with being in public areas and seeing what's happening around the country and around the world and things like that, my mindset is starting to automatically flip to the negative.
Well, go ahead.
And now it's self-preservation, right?
Yeah,
because there's a lot of the big cities, the big metropolitan areas, who have already gone forth with defunding their police. And now you're seeing where the police departments are doing, I would, in my eyes, they would be doing the right thing. They would be taking care of a threat, but then they're going to court for murder or something that you harmed somebody or you could have waited for backup or, something like that, where it's like now the city's not taking care of the cops. Are the cops going to take care of me?
Yeah.
Because that cop doesn't know me from Adam.
Nope.
And he doesn't know if I pay my taxes or not. He doesn't know if I support him or if I don't support him or anything like that. So he or she will sit there and go, yeah, I don't really want to help because then my career is gone.
Well, and historically speaking, you have to go into that self-preservation mode because there's a lot of people that, hey, something pops off. There's a mass shooter or there's, people are starting to get violent. A lot of times they're not going to, and it's not a shame on them, but they're not going to jump in and help out and run toward the fire and see who they can save or, that kind of mentality. It's going to be, I need to run and save myself.
Yeah.
So you're left there on your own in your own fight or whatever the scenario is. So you have to have that mindset to a degree. What do I need to do to take care of myself? How do I get myself out of this and not rely on everyone else to, these guys will jump in and help out?
Yeah. Yeah. So how do you, speaking more towards self-preservation, how do you save yourself from getting into a situation or a scenario like that? What intel or what platform or what media site can you utilize in order to find out things like that? Because it is coming out that these pro-Palestinians or the BLM or whatnot are now starting to turn to the dark web to push their protests, or, hey, they're going to have a fight for the people will protest over here. Let's join them and smash buildings and things like that, because we do know there are professional protesters out there. We talked about it a couple of years ago where they were coming in through the bus loads. I almost said butt loads, but bus loads.
Same difference.
Yeah. They were coming into the cities on buses to cause havoc. Yeah. So how do you grab the intel from whatever source to keep yourself out of that?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Because like you said, if they're going to the dark web, it's not like, let me just pull up Google and let me look at the protest schedule for today.
Yeah.
Or let me check Facebook. Or, if you're not friends with these people, you don't know what they're putting out there. Or Twitter or X or any of the other social media sites. I think what we have discussed in the past is, staying up on comms. What does that look like? That could be your cell phone. Cell phone goes down. Power grid goes down. Towers go down. There's no reception. There's no wireless. There's no whatever. What do?
You have a backup.
Yeah, but what's your backup?
Well, for my group of people, it's radios. But you're right. If I'm by myself, what's my backup comm? What's my backup intel gathering way to have it? I have none.
Yeah.
And 90% of people would have none. So how do you have a map? Are you just going to carry a paper map with you that shows you your downtown area and all the little ins and outs?
I have the app for the map on my phone. And it'll tell me, right? I just ask, okay, Google or Alexa or Siri, and they tell me how to get where I need to go.
Right. But what if it goes down?
Yeah, but it won't.
It never has.
Never will.
But it has.
Yeah, and it will.
It sure will.
Yep.
So
you got to dust off your boots, kick the rust off, so to speak, for some of the older folks. But for the younger guys, it's going back to that. It's going back to that MapSco. It's going back to MapQuest and all these other things, like you just mentioned, the paper map.
yeah.
How do I read this? And you don't have to get into the all nitty gritty and let me learn the levels of terrain and this and that and land navigation, but the basic principles.
Yeah.
How do I find this highway that gets me from here to where I'm trying to get to? What is the route? Okay, let me see. Oh, okay, here's a couple small towns or a couple streets that I need to go around or through. Or do people know how to do that? That's something that people should know how to do.
It would be the basics.
Exactly, just the basics.
But people don't do the basics because of what we have, and it's the cell phones that we carry that are a nicety.
Yeah, we've got these little computers in our pockets or in our cars or whatever, and they do all the work for us.
Yeah.
It's just like back in the day, if you remember, you'd go to the grocery store or you'd go to the drive-thru or wherever, you'd hand somebody cash, and they would calculate how much change you get.
That happened to me this morning when I grabbed coffee.
Yeah. But more times than not anymore, the computer does all the work for you. I hand you a 20 and, okay, your change is going to be $7.73.
Yeah.
Because the computer told me that.
Yeah.
Do people know how to get to $7.73 from a 20?
No. That's a very expensive coffee,
go back
though.
to the basics.
Jeez.
It is expensive. Probably went to Starbucks.
I didn't, but I did grab 2.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was one of those mornings.
Yeah, I can relate. But yeah, basic navigation, reading a map, how to get to go where you're going to. And I remember when I first started driving, I had a MapSco in the back seat because I'm very directionally challenged. So it would be like, all right, how do I get to Walmart from my house? Well, clue number 1, the map doesn't say, oh, here's Walmart.
Yeah.
But if I know what city it's in or where it's located, more or less, I can look at the map. Okay, this is about where I am, where my house is. Okay, I'm going to need to go down this street, take a left on that one, go right over here, and figure it out.
Yeah. Or you can do what other parents have done. And I'm not saying this is me by experience. They could drop you off in the middle of the town and say, hey, you need to be back before the lights come on, the street lights come on. So good luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't do that in the Metroplex. You could do it in a small town.
You could do it in small town, yeah. For sure.
Sure.
But I think the same principle applies to the comms. Hey, if my cell phone goes down, or what if I drop it? What if I lose it? What if it gets stolen, pickpocketed, whatever? What do I do now?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you're always going to be carrying around a walkie-talkie, but if you know how to operate one, okay, you might be.
I walk around with.
But the average Joe.
Right.
But know how to use one.
Yeah.
Do you just use different channels, or do you have to dial in a frequency? How do you turn it on? How do you transmit on it? What channels are more commonly used and for what?
What kind of battery does it take?
Yeah.
You know?
Have the ability to recharge it or change the batteries out.
Yeah. What if the whole system goes down? And I'm talking electricity, everything. Do you have cash on you to go to the back of the aisle, grab a pack of AA, AAAs, bring it back to the register, hand them some cash, get your change, and boom, that's yours.
I remember when we first started together getting into radios. And I had picked up a cheap CB radio
Uh-huh.
from Walmart.
Yeah. Oh, COVID-19.
Yep, the old COVID-19. And before I was even really comfortable, like transmitting and just talking to people, I would turn that thing on and just listen to it.
Yep.
And like, well, hey, I'm driving from here to the Metroplex. Let me turn it on, and you could hear other truckers.
Mm-hmm.
And they would have very useful information. Hey, exit whatever is closed, so you're going to have to go around. Or, hey, there was an accident up here at mile marker whatever. So I would know, okay, well, let me take the next exit so I can go around the accident. Or, even if you don't use it to talk to other people, you can get a lot of information that way.
Yes, you can. And I would highly suggest if you have a vehicle that has a 12-volt adapter or 12-volt plug. Back in the day, we used to call them the cigarette lighters.
Yep.
If you have the capability of plugging one in, that's all it runs off of is that. So plug in a radio, throw an antenna on. You don't have to talk, which means you should not have to program your antenna. You should be able just to grab stuff, plug and play, and just listen.
Yeah.
On your long road trips, listen. Like when the kids and I, we went to New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, Arizona area. I wished, the whole time I was driving, I wished I had a CB because there were spots where we were dead stop traffic and I had no idea what was going on. Google Maps showed that the road was green. I'm stopped, so that's not always going to be the best reliable source.
Right.
If I had a CB, because there was a lot of truckers, I was on a main highway. If I had a CB, I guarantee you I would have had more intel in that particular situation that would say, oh, hey, it's going to be a 5-minute wait time and it is crawling through this mile marker and this mile marker, because that's more or less how they talk once you learn the lingo.
Right.
So, but would it have done me any good anywhere else? Probably not where we were at, where we drove through.
Yeah.
There was a lot of times that I lost cell phone connectivity where I was SOS is what my phone said, SOS. So I would turn on my ham radio and see if I could scan for repeaters that were out there. Again, just like your Maps Go thing, have a book log of repeaters in different areas that you're going to, and you can either pre-program them or you can program them on the spot. It sounds complicated, but people, if Drew can do it, you can do it. Remember that.
He's not lying. If I can do it, and I've done it, traveling to different cities, going back home, visiting family, let me just see, I've got the book, like you said, with the frequency on it for whatever repeater. Let me see if I can even just push the button and hit it.
Yeah.
And it's worked. And I've called out to a couple of them just to radio check and gotten responses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in a worst case scenario, cell phone's not working, you're stranded, you're this, you're that, whatever, you could at least reach out, potentially hit somebody, and, hey, here's where I'm at, here's my issue, send help.
Yeah. And we are planning on hitting more of those locations where cell phone coverage may not be the best.
Yeah.
So we are programming our stuff and making sure that we can hit contacts from the vehicle as we go along, just in case.
Yeah. And a lot of these folks that have set these repeaters up or that are on the net, they're a lot of times helpful folks.
Yeah.
It's not just your random Joe Schmo that, I picked this up, this is cool, and I just want to be a jerk to people.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to them. They may be of some service.
Yeah. They can help you in times where your cell phone can't.
Well, shoot. Even here locally, when there's bad storms,
Oh, yeah.
we'll tune into one of the repeaters, and they're usually giving updates, and they've sent out spotters, and they'll tell you, hey, in this city, between here and here, there's dime-size hail.
Yeah.
And, this one just broke my windshield. Be careful. Or, hey, it's moving east to west or north to south or whatever the situation is. So you kind of get a heads up. Oh, shoot, I need to bunker down or throw my protect my windows, close my shutters, do this, do that, or I need to get out of town, or whatever.
Right. And another thing is if the repeater is on the grid, obviously this doesn't help out. But if it is not, if, say, somebody's got like a battery backup or a generator backup, these guys will be able to announce over these radio frequencies, hey, there's a power outage, and so of this place needs help, or hey, we need people to come out and help with gathering wood, or we need to do a grocery run for these people. So the individuals in your hometown or in the city that you live in are here to help.
Yeah.
You just got to get on the frequency for your comms. Now, we rabbit holed away from the topic real bad on this one. But going back to the main topic, watch your surroundings. Keep your head on a swivel, right?
Yes.
Know where you're at. Know the location. It is not dumb, or don't feel like you're an idiot or this is stupid if you carry around a paper map, or if you look at a map prior to going to where you're going to go, to familiarize yourself with that particular area.
Yeah.
It's not dumb. No. You are protecting you and whoever you're with.
You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you never know.
You know, you go into the movie theater and they play the previews and whatnot, and they tell you, oh, turn your cell phones off. Make sure you know where the exit is. Why do they do that? In case you need to leave, you can leave in an orderly fashion to get out of there.
Yeah.
You know, same principle applies. You go out to eat. Okay, usually I know where the bathrooms are because I got to test them out. That's a story for another time.
Yeah.
But, you know where the exits are. Like JT said, be aware of your surroundings. Keep your head on a swivel. Okay, hey, something doesn't look right here. These people are getting into an argument. Things are getting heated. How do I get out of here if I need to? Or how do I protect myself? Or, okay, I walked into this place. I noticed a couple groups of cops sitting down for lunch over here. So I could get a hold of them if something's going down. Maybe they don't see it yet. Hey, guys, let me flag them down. This is going on over here.
Right.
Be aware. Know what's around you. Know what's going on. Have a plan to escape if you need to.
Yep. Well, that was a good show, bud.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Excuse me. We'll have to do it again.
Yes, we'll need to do it again sooner this time.
Please.
Yeah.
Please, yeah, we definitely need to.
I need you to have life stop happening so much.
Goodness gracious, you are not kidding. Holy mackerel. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, life has happened, and JT has paid the price.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a big ticket.
When the number on the ticket is bigger than my waist size, yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, or my weight.
That's pretty big too. I was trying to go with a smaller number, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, no, not always. So, all right, y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. Remember to hit that like button, 5-star, thumbs up, whatever you're listening to, and we will see you again.
Bye.
Bye. As always, we'd like to say thank you for stopping by and listening to the podcast.
Yeah, we realized that you could have been doing anything way more productive, but you chose to waste your time with us.
We look forward to talking about absolutely nothing with you next time.
If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, please email us at
jtandrewshow@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/JTDrewShow.